So just woke up a little while ago and just saw that the man killed in Minnesota, his name was George Floyd, and he was the brother of Steven Jackson, former NBA player. So, it made it even sadder for me because it's a little closer to home. And I was already bothered tremendously by it, watching, if you watch the video. It's a shame that this continues to happen. And it's got to stop. This senseless killing of black men by cops has to stop. We've seen it too much. Yeah, people in all around the world die for different reasons, and people are killed in this country, and there's death every day. But what we're seeing is a lack of protection for black men in America. Sitting in your apartment, you can get shot. You go jogging, you can get shot. Anything, just for no reason, because it's almost like there's an intimidation factor. Like, people are afraid of black men, that we don't have our rights. You can't say anything. You're telling us that we're resisting. And in many cases, we find out that we're not. You see it on video. That this man yesterday, and that's the narrative. Like, some of you will say, oh, he had to be doing something bad, or what did he do wrong? He must have been resisting. Like, you just can't believe that this cop and many cops similar to him would just kill a black man for no reason. You just can't fathom it. So you have to make an excuse for him, or you have to say that the black man was a thug, or he was a criminal and he deserved it. He shouldn't have been doing something wrong. I hear it all day long. You guys defend the indefensible. And you try to make some innocent man a criminal. This man, okay, so he wrote a bad check. Did he deserve to die? No. Even if he did something more heinous, he should be arrested and taken to jail. It's not the cop's job to play the executioner. We see young white men commit heinous crimes. We see it time and time again, the different school shootings that have happened across this country. The killings in black churches, and each time the assailant gets handcuffed without incident. In some cases, they've been taken to eat. They get bulletproof vests put on them. It's like they're being taken care of. But a black man gets a knee to the throat, gets shot, running or jogging or sitting in their apartment. It's like, I don't know what needs to happen, but, just to put it in context, at the end of a game, if we needed a free throw, I was trained to do that. Like, I was the guy that you wanted to shoot a free throw. But I worked my ass off on free throws because I knew that's what it always comes down to. So when I got to a free throw line, it's nerve-wracking and the pressure can be intense, but I was prepared for it. I knew what I was to expect. And it's almost like every time you hear a story like this, the cops panic. Oh, he was resisting. He grabbed his gun instead of his taser. He thought he has his taser in his hand. Like, why aren't these individuals trained properly, vetted properly? It's like we need reform in the way cops are being trained. I know people aren't going to like it, but you can't keep having incidents and then say not all cops are bad, because I agree with you. But there needs retraining amongst everybody, so everybody has the same training, so they don't know what that means, but change has to happen. Like, we can't keep watching this over and over again, because we look like the idiots. We look like fools. That we can't look after ourselves, and that, some of you don't care because it's not your own people being killed. But we can't continue to go down this rabbit hole and not demand for change Where is the president? What does he have to say about this? What about your local congressmen and women? Like, this shouldn't be a Minnesota issue. This is an issue that every person, every congressman and woman, senator in this country should be talking about and addressing. Like, this is because it's going to matter to you if it's somebody close to you. Right now, it doesn't seem like it matters, but we have to be the voice for everybody. This is why we say Black Lives Matter. It's a hashtag, it's a movement. And the reason why I say it and people like myself say it, because every time something like this happens, there's nothing done about it. And it almost shows us that Black lives don't matter in this country. And that's what's so heartbreaking, because if a person can kill a Black person and not be sent to prison for it, there's no precedent set. So it continues to happen. And you're telling us this is what we're seeing. It's not about us being ignorant or I don't know, just trying to, have an axe to grind. No, it's what we see. So you're telling us that our lives don't matter because these individuals continue not to be indicted, and so we continue to get killed. That's why we say Black Lives Matter. Show us otherwise, we're going to keep saying that Black Lives Matter. Yes, we understand. We love all people. We love all kinds. We're not people who are stuck to believing only one way of living, thinking, or being. But we need to see that people cherish the Black people that are in this country, because there are some incredible individuals, young and old, that are Black in this country that have been killed. And until you show us that our lives matter, we're going to continue to say Black Lives Matter. So if you say all lives matter after somebody says Black Lives Matter, that's you suppressing how we feel about young Black and brown people being killed in this country. So don't try to combat what we're saying. Just be with us. Just help us. Help us change this scenario of young Black lives being shattered, being murdered. It's hard for some of you because you don't see the racism that exists. Again, as a Black man in this country, as someone that has traveled extensively, like I've been, people don't know, everywhere I go, people don't know who I am. So they see me as a Black man, and I've been treated unfairly, but I don't bitch about it. You just move on, because it's not my issue to have to worry about somebody else's racism. But I want you to understand, like, just because you don't go through it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because something happens around America, you want to take the side that that you feel comfortable with. And the first thing some of you do is you say, oh, he must have been doing something wrong. Well, what did he do? Like, sometimes he didn't do anything. Just color of his skin. He was Black. And I just wish some of you would just have empathy to understand, like, this is just the way it is. As Black people in this country, we've known this for so long, and we've had to live with it. We've had to act different. When we see police, when we go out into the world. And I hate it. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. That's the way it's been. And I would love for some of you to understand it. But all we need you to do is just appreciate it, accept it, and know this is how we live until things hopefully one day change, if that's ever possible. Don't take our plight and make excuses for someone else. If this ever happened to me or somebody that I know, don't make an excuse for somebody else and assume I was doing something wrong. So until that day happens, where this change, continue to talk about it. If you don't like it, just don't follow me. You don't have to say anything nasty. I have a good heart. I'm trying to do the right things, trying to raise an incredible family, and trying to do the right things by my community and the people in it, regardless of what color you are. So, I'm not a mean, spiteful person. I love all people, but I know what's right and I know what's wrong. So if you understand that what I'm trying to do is to build a better, more cohesive country, then, you want to divide and keep us apart and separate. Like, that's not the way to go. But the first thing you have to understand is the separation that exists already, the racism that exists already, the 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 shameless killing of black people in this country. Just admit it. This is our country. This is the mess that we live in, and we have to do something about it. Don't just out. Like, don't tell me if I don't like the way things are, then leave the country and go live somewhere else. That's racist. That's a racist thought. Like, don't. This is my country. I live here. I love this country. I love the people in it. But we have to do better. This is for all of us to live in. You can't just look at this and think this is your country. This is everybody's country. You know, people come in every single day to look for a new life, to look for change, you know, to live the American dream. So this is not just a country for white people. This is not just a country for immigrants. This is a country for all of us. And once everybody starts to understand that, then all of our rights will be appreciated and fought for. I know I was too young. I'll give some of you a history lesson. I know a lot of you know this, but Muhammad Ali went to jail because he refused to go to the Vietnam War. And why? How do you fight for a country who doesn't allow you to eat in restaurants or walk down the streets in its cities? You know, we're not treated as an equal human being. How do you go and fight for a country that doesn't give you equal rights? I'm fighting in this country, but you want me to go fight someone else who you have no problem with. Like, you have to understand that. You have to appreciate that. Until you have equal rights in your country, how do you go fight some other country for freedoms in the country you live in that you don't have? Muhammad Ali, back in the day, at the height of his greatness, you know, he got thrown in jail for it. And so whether you like Kaepernick or not, all he did was kneel. He didn't say, I hate troops. He loved troops, soldiers. You know, he was just speaking out against the injustices. And a lot of you are going to say, oh, it wasn't the right time. Like, when is the right time to protest? Like, why are you mad at him? Because he just wants you guys to understand that black people need to stop being killed by police. That's all he was saying. And some of you didn't want to see it because you don't want to know that somebody's protesting, because you're not dealing with these protests. You don't have to worry about, you know, people being killed that you know, the people that look like you. Like, it's just, I've seen that we can have this conversation and yet, oh, he's disrespecting the soldiers. He's not disrespecting the soldiers. It's just, that's, you in America, you have the opportunity to protest against the things that you don't like. It's a free country. You can speak out and say whatever it is that you want. In Minnesota, it just goes to show you, like, this is why he took a knee, and he didn't do anything harmful. He just took a knee at an NFL game. We have people protesting on city steps around America because they want to open up, but they got guns. You know, they're walking around as militia with guns, and they're protesting, you know, to open, you know, their cities back up. Like, that's within their right to protest. But nobody said anything about them. You know, they got guns, like they want to shoot somebody. Kaepernick just kneeled. Like, don't be angry at him, because that's his right to protest in his way. You should appreciate this is America. This is the way, this is why you have your freedoms. This is why, you know, we have, so you can speak up and you know, say the things that you want to say, obviously without harming people. Peaceful protests. Some of you don't understand it. Some of you are too young to have a grip on this reality. This is the world that we live in. But don't just sit behind your keyboard and be a warrior and try to slander me or someone, you know, that is speaking out because it's something we don't like. No, we're not going anywhere else. This is where we live. We believe in our rights in this country, and we believe that the people that are making the laws need to pass different laws and need to hold people accountable for their crimes and their wrongdoings. If you don't believe in that, then we'll continually be divided in this country. I said this before, are you a part of the cure or are you a part of the disease? Don't create the argument. Don't create the issue. Don't create the animosity or the fear. Just come out with solutions. I don't want to hear, oh, that's wrong or that's messed up. Like that's not where we are. That's not where I am. Don't come onto my page and talk about these statistics and this is why this is wrong. No, just come up with a solution. Just give me some points on what we can do to be better. We waste all this time pointing fingers at each other and wow, this is messed up and you need to do this. It's like too much. It's too much noise. Just bring me solutions. The noise, I just block the noise and I delete the comments. Like, I don't want to hear that noise because it gets us nowhere. It's like we now live in a society where everybody has to be right and everybody has to like say something and I got to attack this and how come you won't let me speak on your post and write a comment because I have something to say? Like it's okay. Just let's have a solution. Let's figure out a way that we can stop these problems from happening. That's where we live now. That's what we have to do. Like, be upset enough that you say you don't want this to happen anymore. It doesn't matter what color you are. Let's try to fix these issues. Let's try to make truly the world a better place, this country a better America. Like, let's do that. I know it's within each and every one of you. But if you just want to continue to point fingers no, you have to hold people accountable. And we have to figure out how to keep things like this from happening. And I'm ready to hear any solution to people that have growth mindsets. How do we improve? How do we grow? It's not how do white people grow or how do black people grow or how do Asian people grow. It's about how do we grow, because a rising tide floats all ships. So if we create a system where everybody can succeed, then everybody will grow. That's where we got to be. We can't sit back and just say, oh, it didn't happen to me, so I don't care. I don't give a damn. They shouldn't have been doing that anyway. No, it doesn't work. But before you know it, it's going to be at your doorstep. You have to be willing to step up and speak out on things that are unjust. And what it boils back down to is your civic duty. Everyone. Don't say, I don't vote because my vote doesn't matter. We have an election coming up in November, and everybody needs to come out and vote because we've had too many things happen in the last couple of years that have shaken the foundation of this country. And whether it's the president, the Senate, Congress, your local politicians, like, there's too many things that happen that we see people that don't do anything. Like, change has to happen. I look over in New Zealand, I look in Canada, like, things happen. When things happen, we have to change. When bad things happen, we have to change. We need people in office that aren't afraid to make a difference. It's like everybody's going along these party lines and everybody's trying to appease their friends, their buddies, or whatever it may be, or the people whose pockets that they're in. But we need people that are going to change things. Like if there's a school shooting, let's put laws in place that stop that. Whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but people who are going to fight and not just send prayers and thoughts and then all of a sudden hope you forget about it and then we move on and then wait till another one happens. Like, we really, truly need to gather and get these people out of office that do not do anything to help us, to help people live every day. That's what it boils down to. Because we keep seeing the same things over and over again. And that is the true definition of insanity. And that's going to make us all crazy long term. And we end up fighting with each other. I want to live in a society where I see the bad guy go down. It's just plain and simple. Somebody does something, bad, I want to see them, you have a trial and you go down. I don't want to see people able to do things and there's no accountability. I don't want to see people, get killed and then, the person who did it, they just walk off scot-free. Like, we have to make sure that we put people in positions of power to change our laws that affect all of us for the good so we can live in a highly civilized society where everybody has rights and no one's rights are greater than the other, regardless of what your income is. That's the America that I hope to live in someday. In the meantime, we all are going to be watching Minnesota and how they handle this. Um, I know they fired the officers. They're all complicit in this murder. But we're going to see how they handle this because this is precedent set. This is precedent set that we're all going to see, how they deal with this going forward. Don't try to make excuses for him. This black guy must have been up to no good. He was resisting arrest. No, it's clear murder. So we're going to watch. We're going to see. We're going to pay attention. Because right now, this is going to affect us all going forward because we're going to see it happen again. Shamefully saying it's going to happen again. But right now, we need justice.